How do you become happier, and why do you want to be happier? Now, people say this all the time, John, I want to be happy, but I don't know how to get there. Well, there's a few things I've learned over the last 20 years of being in business and entrepreneurship, but trying to balance that with your health and trying to balance that with your wealth and trying to balance that with your family. So happiness is important because why do we do the things that we do in life? Like, for example, when I say to people, why do you want to make more money, right? Because they're already millionaires. Why do you want to make more money? And they can't answer the question, how much money is enough? I want to give you a few strategies that can really help you create more happiness in your life so you have more peace, which means then you can live a fulfilled life. And a lot of people, when they ask me, John, I want to start a business, I want to make more money. Why? Question I asked them was, why? What is it that you want? They always tell me these things because they want to create freedom in their life. So the first thing that I do on a regular basis, and I don't always do this all the time, but when I do, it just happens, is that you got to practice gratitude. So there are things that happen in your life that actually you don't need more stuff in your life. Remember when I first made my first meal, I started going out buying all these things and cars and watches and things like, you don't really need that stuff. Does it make you happy? Yeah. But sometimes just sitting down and just being grateful for what you have, even your health, the fact that you've got mobility, the fact that you can get up, the fact that you can talk, the fact that we wake up in a country where, we have a lot of that freedom where we can pretty much say whatever we want to say and people come together. It's just incredible. I want you to practice gratitude. Write down the things that you are grateful for. It could be a partner, it could be your kids. Sometimes I see a lot of parents complain about the kids. Oh God, it's so much work. And by the way, I was one of these parents. But sometimes you just sit there and you look at them and you're just grateful for what you have. When you practice gratitude, it almost lessens the noise in your life. When it lessens the noise in your life, guess what? You can do and achieve more. Another one is connect with others. This is one thing that a lot of people don't do. Do you know the loneliness in the UK is very high? Money is actually not the thing that you want to be focusing on. It's actually the relationships you want to be focusing on. Because if anything ever happens in your life and you need help, guess what? You have the right people that you want to talk to. You have the right people that you can sit down with. You have the right people that will be there to support you. And just finding time in the calendar and just writing down the things that will make a big impact by hanging around with these people. That's why on a regular basis, I always love to speak at events because I get to hang around with people at events. I get to hang around with other speakers. I get to hang around the organizers and I get to learn. When you're connecting with others, it could be online, it could be offline, it could be on Zoom. It doesn't matter what it is, but try and think about different ways that you can connect with people. If you have kids, find someone else who's got kids and just have a party, right? Have a play date, whatever it is. I know a lot of our lives are very busy, right? And you're probably doing some of this stuff already, but maybe you do it, but you're not even present. I'm guilty of this. I sometimes will go on a holiday with my family and I'm working. Sometimes I've just got to keep pulling back and just making a note to myself that, oh my God, I need to stay present. And this is something that I want for a lot of you as well. Another way you want to be happier, stay physically active. So I just got back from the gym. I did a whole gym session, a strength training session. I did cold plunge. I did the hot sauna and I did it twice. And it just releases those endorphins. Because if you want to be happier, you've also got to be happy with yourself. Are you happy with the way you feel right now? Are you happy with the way that you look right now? Are you happy with the way you think right now? So I did this whole longevity test with my doctor, Dr. Shamoni, who's based out in Dubai. He's incredible. He was basically testing my brain age. And when it came back, my brain age came back at 20 years old. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Why? Because I practice a lot of the thinking, strategic thinking, and staying active. When you stay active, you can think better, you can make better decisions, you can run a business better, you're less grumpy, you have less arguments with people around you, you're less snappy. For those of you watching this, if you're in your 40s, your testosterone is going down, which means we need to train to hold the muscle because the muscle plays a big part in longevity. Another thing that I think is important as well is pursue a hobby. So what's your hobby right now? I love to go to the theater. I love the theater. I love performing arts. I love go to the cinema. I love to play computer games. In fact, I have an arcade just next door where I get to play games. So I love to play badminton. And a lot of you have incredible hobbies, things that you love to do, but you've probably never written them down before. I love to travel. That's one of my hobbies. I feel blessed that I can combine work with travel at the same time. So start thinking about things that you can pursue as a hobby. Sometimes a lot of you work in a job and maybe you make a lot of money, but you don't enjoy what you do. Right? My wife loves pottery. Think about something that you love to do. Write them all down and make time for it. I love going karaoke, even though I can't sing, but I love to, pretend that I can sing. These are some of the things that I want you to start paying close attention to, because when you're able to do that, everything changes. Another thing I always find that a lot of people, they don't set goals. I know it sounds obvious. You get more happy when you know you're reaching a goal. So for example, when I go to the gym, I look at how much I weigh. If I notice my weight's coming down, I feel happier. If I notice that when I'm eating, I'm getting less fat, I'm happier. Set some kind of goal. It could be a small goal. It could be, a goal of yours might be to, I don't know, go to the gym once a week. One of your goals could be, if you're looking to find love in your life, go on a date. Whatever it is, start thinking about setting those goals. Otherwise, there's no aspiration. You want to be around people who aspire to be better, to be great, and you can be one of these people. Another one, which is something I'm trying to learn, is try and limit social media. I know this sounds contradictory because you're probably watching this on YouTube, but I'm not to say not to do social media, but maybe have a slot for it. Maybe Monday from this time to this time, you do social media. One thing that's really helped me, by the way, is, for a while, I was only getting like 5-6 hours sleep on a regular basis. My friends who are sleep doctors, some of the best at what they do, they asked me to write down all these things of what I do before I go to bed. And a big part of that was send last emails, go on social media, watch a few stuff, make a few, that's not good. And what I realized is when I cut social media out 1 hour before I sleep, oh my God, I get an extra 2 hours sleep. It's amazing. So little things like this, don't cut out social media, limit it, and then you'll be happier. And also sometimes you look at people's social media like, oh, look at that person's got such a great life. The way you got to think about it is social media is really like a highlight reel of that person's life. Their life is not always like that. The next one I think is important is you want to prioritize self-care. Now, self-care doesn't mean going to the gym, going to the spa, having a pamper day. Sometimes self-care means having the hard conversations. Sometimes self-care means having the boundaries, and people sometimes break your boundaries and you accept it. Do you know how many people say to me, John, this person's treating me like this? It's because it's your fault. You're training that person to treat you the way that you've been treated. Like, that person keeps shouting at me, but do you tell them, don't talk to me like that ever again? If you talk to me like that ever again, I'm not having a conversation. Like, you need to stand your boundaries, because the boundaries are what keep you happy. When people keep breaking an expectation, when people keep breaking your boundaries or overstepping the boundaries, tell them. Have those hard conversations. If you're in a relationship and your partner or one partner's not doing what they should be doing or what is expected of them, have the conversation. They're not mind readers. And guys, if you're in a relationship right now and you're like, wow, my wife doesn't understand, my girlfriend doesn't understand me, sit down and have a conversation. It's so amazing that they can communicate to you in a certain way and you'll just never get it unless they communicate to you in a different way. Next one, I think this is a big one, just volunteering your time. When you volunteer at a shelter, you volunteer to give your time. I run a lot of events where people come to me and they want to ask me questions on things. I can't always answer everyone's questions, but I'll take time out to say, okay, you know what? You got any questions? Ask me these questions and I'll do my best to help. And actually, it's one of the reasons why I create a lot of these videos. So by the way, if you know anyone who's going through challenges, forward this video to them. Right? And if you have any questions for me personally, leave a question below. I'll personally come in and answer those questions. And don't be shy. Volunteer, help others. Do something that's not in your norm to be able to have a different experience, because magical things happen from that. They really do. Next one, this is a big one as well. Embrace mindfulness. Embrace mindfulness. What do I mean by this? I practice a lot of breath work. Especially when I'm doing a cold plunge, I practice a lot of breath work. So mindfulness, meditation. Do you know, they say that if you just do 12 minutes of meditation every single day, it will prolong your life. It will reduce your anxiety a lot. But we don't take time to do it. Why? Because people think it's fluffy. I used to think it's fluffy, but just embracing mindfulness, even just sitting down, quiet, and just not even doing anything, just thinking. I think we live in a world where it's just so noisy. You can't even think about the next thing you want to think about. Sometimes it's good to just sit in silence. Like right now. Everyone's out of their house. Daughter's at school, right? Wife's out. I get to just sit in quiet and I get to think of these things. And do you know, just sitting in an hour of quietness, no phone. Have you ever done that before? Try it. It'll change your life. And the next one, this is the last one. This is probably the biggest one out of everything I'm talking about. You want to be happy, this is the one thing that you change. By the way, before I get into it, I'm going to link a video at the end of this to really help you gain more momentum to create more success in your life. If you're not following me here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow me here on YouTube and follow me on Instagram. If you look for John Lee Success on TikTok and Instagram, you'll find my short form content there as well. I think you'll find that useful. I'll link all the links below. And if any of you would love to learn more, you love to get more education on business, entrepreneurship, mindset, we run a lot of virtual events. I'll put a link below this as well so you can check it out. So the last one, which I think when I changed this, everything changed. And that is set your expectations. Adjust the expectations. Sometimes when we feel disappointed, it's because we're expecting too much of something. Sometimes you need to adjust it. And when you adjust it, what happens? You start to get oh wow, that was nice. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. So when you adjust your expectations of other people and you adjust your expectations of yourself, everything changes. Why? Because when you expect something and that person doesn't do it, or they haven't done it and you expect them to do it, guess what? So one good exercise you can do, sit down with your partner and say, what are your expectations in this relationship? I know it sounds a bit weird, or even in business, sit down with your business partner and write down, what are your expectations? A lot of the breakdown comes from the lack of communication. So if you want to be happier in life, get more clear, have the hard conversations, adjust the expectations, embrace the mindfulness, volunteer, limit social media, set realistic goals, pursue a hobby, stay physically active, connect with other people, and also have the gratitude for the things in your life that you already have that other people don't have. I really want you to pay close attention, and also make sure you check out this video here as well.